This video was sponsored by Card Kingdom. You can visit their store by using my referral link in the description below. So, Day of Judgment. We did just start a draft with one of those and then never played it. Mizzix's Mastery is pretty cool, pretty powerful, spell payoff. Hardened Scales, there are a lot of counters in the format, but I don't feel like there's enough of a deck for it, for the most part. But yeah, obviously this card's strong. So the Immortal Sun, also great, especially if you're like a control deck, like as a late game, sort of grind you out your value and win you the game sort of card. So yeah, we have a couple of like aggressive blue cards here in Trickster and Stowaway. But I think we're looking at Day of Judgment and Immortal Sun, basically. Just like powerful in a vacuum type cards, whereas the rest of these that are powerful kind of need a situation to arise. I think I just go Day of Judgment again. Wraths are just good. Did you know that? See, here's Lightning Strike, something we could have used in our last deck. Yeah, I mean, picking Dire Fleet and forcing Mono Red isn't a terrible plan, frankly, because I do think that deck is so good. But, it's also not. We just drafted one, and unless I get an Embercleave thrown at me again, I'm probably not going to try to draft that deck again, just because we already did it. We have a Thragtusk, great at stabilizing, and if we're in white, we could even play Restoration Angel, which is pretty cool. So Thragtusk is a pretty good pickup here. Yeah, I think that's where I'm going to go. Sharknado is pretty good. Okay, see, this is a pretty powerful white aggro card that really, really is hard for me to ignore when I see it. I mean, Adeline is so good. There's also a Scavenging Ooze, but I don't know. I'm really tempted. There's like Embercleave and Adeline are two of the really cards that really pull me into that deck, even if I'm not trying to play it, because she's that good. Ooze, I mean, I'd probably go with Ooze in the end. It fits better with what we're doing, and if we do end up in like a more aggressive deck, the Ooze is still pretty good. Do I just take Adeline? No, we're going to take the Ooze. We're oozing here. Okay, so a couple good green cards here. Rishkar ramps us, does stuff with counters. Elish Norn's obviously super powerful. We could see about playing like a control deck where she's sort of a win condition and or we have reanimation as a backup plan. There's also a Farewell, actually. I think I just take Farewell, and I think we lean in. We've got Day of Judgment and Farewell now. So I don't know that we're going to be like a green-white control deck, but I think a control deck is pretty likely if that's what we're going to start with. You know what I mean? Brainstorm. Entity, Storm Tamer. Yeah, I mean, Spellbinder's fine. As is, these are both perfectly fine white cards, and I'm probably taking one of them. They're good. Both of them are good in an aggro deck, but they're fine in like a control deck too, because they give you some pretty real value. Spellbinder's probably a little better in aggro. We do have a Thragtusk, so I'm just going to take Charming Prince, because Blinking Thragtusk is hilarious. So that's how I break that tie. What is hilarious? Okay, well, so here's Reanimation. I was talking about that. We could splash this, and the flashback is actually white. Valorous Stance. Archon of Emeria doesn't look great for us if we're going to be a control deck. It's not terrible, but, putting limitations on the number of spells you can cast a turn. I mean, early it's fine, but by the later part of the game, it can be a real problem. Celestis is good ramp and fixing. I think I might just take Unburial Rites. It's just so sweet, Yeah, let's do it. See what happens. Okay, well, then we get a Torrential Gear Hulk, and I think that really pulls us into like a blue-white control deck. Hard to say no there. We'd have Baral too, but the Gear Hulk is great, so maybe we splash Thragtusk. I mean, splashing in Burial Rites isn't out of the question either, I guess, still. Amiria's Call's okay. I might just grab the land here, though. Yeah, I think we just grab the land. What I really want is a Field of the Dead deck. You know, those are fun. That's like my favorite deck in this format, is the Field of the Dead nonsense deck. Okay, so here's splashing that would help us play on Burial Rites. And I think that's probably just what we take. So yeah, maybe we splash the Tusk. I don't think we splash an Ooze. Portable Hull's not bad. I mean, there's enough things you can hit with it in the format. This is something we could reanimate potentially, but it's not, you know... This is the kind of card that a new player sees and it seems like the most busted thing ever, but it's really not that great. I mean, it's a fine card to have, but I think I'm just going to take some cheap removal. I do kind of wish I'd taken the Sharknado now, I can tell you that. Man, Adeline is still here? People don't want to play aggro. Man. Storm Tamer's okay. It's pretty hard to actually make use of. Negate's okay. Godpharaoh's Gift is a pretty real win condition. I think that's where I'm going to go in the end, but it does make me feel like I should have gone aggro when Adeline is just chilling there still. Okay, well, that makes me feel better. Elish Norn's still here too. So what we need to find... Let's grab Ephemerate. Quite good with Thragtusk. I wonder if the blue-white OG, you know, from... No, it's not still here. We'll take a stance now. So we have two very good Oh, OG is still here. Interesting. Quite good with Thragtusk, so... And there's a Restoration Angel. That is a dream combo. Restoration Angel plus Thragtusk, because Thragtusk says when it leaves the battlefield. So if you blink it, you get 5 life and a 3/3, which is crazy. Venerated Loxodon, another mono-white aggro-type card that, when I see it, often makes me want to be in that deck. If I'd taken Adeline, I think maybe that would have given us the best possible deck, like in retrospect. And not even just in retrospect. I just didn't really want to draft another aggro deck for entertainment purposes. And things have worked out okay overall, I think. Yeah, so I think we grab Restoration Angel. Just such good value. Skyclave Apparition. So the awkward thing is, you know, if we're not a base black deck, finding ways to, like, mill and discard aren't that easy. I guess blue might have some. I guess we could end up being a black-white deck, though, frankly, the way things look right now. Because it's not like we have the Gear Hulk. And that's pretty much it. So we could end up being a black deck. That is interesting. We probably take Apparition. You know, flexible removal's pretty good. Hengate Pathway is nice fixing. Somgar's Command's not bad either. But do I like Apparition more? Yeah, I mean, we need some early interaction to get us to the late part of the game. And Apparition certainly does that. Well, it could also just be white-green. Lean a little more into a ramp deck and Titan of Industry type nonsense. Another good thing to blink. The only problem is we have no ramp to speak of right now, but I'm kind of feeling Titan of Industry here. All right, well, there's a Meat Hook. It's not as good. They powered it down, but I'm tempted by it. I'm also tempted by Approach. Like, it's a pretty real win condition in this format when you have a bunch of sweepers and stuff. And we do already have Farewell and Day of Judgment, so maybe we don't need the Meat Hook. Maybe I just take Approach. Yeah. Okay, Pact of Negation. That's cool. Didn't realize that was even on Arena. So another reanimation card. You know, I'm still not convinced where we're going to end up exactly, but this is another reanimation card with some pretty real upside. Altar of Baal reanimates stuff too, but I think this looks appealing to us. Okay, so here is a way for us to actually discard cards that's like powerful anyway. I think we take it. So, does make me want to be in blue-white a little bit more. Gale's pretty good. Obviously, we have a decent number of instants and sorceries. I think we go ahead and take him. And I think we lead now a little more into blue-white. Don't really want the priest. I think we do splash Thragtusk if we can. Titan can't really be splashed. And I don't know about God Pharaoh's Gift either, but I think we're a blue-white deck that splashes maybe for both Rites and Tusk. And that's about it. It's going to be hard to make Unburial Rites work, potentially. Just because... Yeah, I mean, we need ways to get things into our graveyard. I mean, sure, reanimating something after it dies normally is cool. But it's not consistent enough. So... Search for Azcanta. Now that can load up our graveyard. It's also a Fatal Push. I think we take the search. The sound has turned off again. That's always fun. So, yeah, mono-white aggro probably was the deck to be in if we really wanted to be optimal here. I want Jawari Disruption or one of these useful, 3 useful lands. That is the question. I think I go with Jawari in the end. Okay, so... Yeah, you're okay. I'd probably just take a land, though. Hagra Mauling, Fading Hope. I think we'll probably just go with Fading Hope. Decent aggro creatures, and this one actually can help you win, like, a long game, too, but... Okay, what do you do again? Instants and sorceries. We do have those. It is pretty slow, and we don't have the ones that are that good to copy. I think we just take Neutralize. And, well, this could end up actually being fixing for us, and Pact is kind of rough, if you know, in terms of how one can use it. Supreme Will's fine. Definitely look like... Exclude's fine, too. Definitely look like a control deck. I really want, like, Teferi or something, though, to feel better. Tameshi's strong, but we don't have enough artifacts and enchantments, no, to be interested. Well... Hallowed Fountain or Alrund? I almost feel like Hallowed Fountain is our pick here. It's not very exciting. But it is good fixing. Yeah, we should take Hallowed Fountain. So, we do have like one way to load the graveyard right now, which is not enough. Solemn Simulacrum. That is fixing, which I think we're interested in because of Thragtusk, if nothing else. Caravan's okay. Man, Tireless Tracker. I love that card. It's another one I didn't really realize was on here. It must have been in one of the... Whatchamacallits. You know, what's the word? Where they release cards for Explorer and Historic. Anthologies, that's what they're called. So yeah, I think we take Solemn Simulacrum here. Karn. Karn is pretty good. Yeah, I think we go Karn here. Deck doesn't feel amazing at this point. But we're definitely doing some powerful stuff late, and we have a couple of sweepers and control elements. So, you know, that's cool. We have a Blink sub-theme that's pretty nice, too. It does kind of feel like black control is more open. Like, we've seen some pretty sweet stuff. Do I want Overcharged Amalgam or Spectral Adversary? Or do I want, like, Brutal Cathar? I don't think we want Announcement. I don't have enough creatures that I, like, love the idea of the Amalgam. The awkward thing about Cathar, we already have one card like it, and it's not good with our Day of Judgment and Farewell, and I think that kind of puts me off of it. I think maybe we just take Spectral Adversary. It's a fine 2-drop. You know, there's Sheoldred. Maybe we go Yorion. Companion Lorien. There's also a Languish, which is pretty sweet. Cave of the Frost Dragon, not bad either. But I think we really like Yorion in general, and if we can companion Yorion, we probably do. Definitely don't want Thalia. Do we just want a deserted beach? Yes, probably so. Spectral Sailor. Another powerful white creature. None of these lands help fix us. Guess I'm just going to take Ow. Alright, there's Jin-Gitaxias, who's quite good. Blade Splicer and Retrofitter Foundry aren't bad either. Opt, honestly, isn't either. And we have enough top curve type nonsense that I think maybe we just take something like Opt, which will make our deck more consistent. It's a little awkward we didn't end up with a single source of fixing for green. But that is the case. All right, I'll take Alrun now. Kind of doubt he makes the cut, but, you know. Hard Evidence. We could take the Caravan. Does give us one green source. We really do want to play Thragtusk if we can help it. And it's not a disaster, but also not being able to crew it is makes it a pretty bad mana rock, but I think we want it more than Hard Evidence. Isika, yeah. There's the Amalgam. Do we just want Treasure Map more? I think maybe we do. That's actually fixing, too. Treasure Map. Feels like this deck's a little too all over the place, but we'll see how it pans out. I don't tend to do super well in this format with control decks that aren't Field of the Dead. The Field of the Dead ones tend to do pretty well for me, but... So how many cards do we need to run if we want to companion Yorion? 20 more. So we would need a 60-card deck. Yeah. I don't think that's happening. You can do it, like, to some extent, but... You know, I could try to play, like, the Vanguard counterpart. We do have fixing, you know, for black. So, the, you know, Null Priest and Burial Rites are playable. Ooze is playable. What would this deck look like if we shoved a companion in it? Let's see. Can't really play the Titan, sadly. No, there's like no way for us to get there, basically. Yeah, no way. So we're not going to run it as a companion. We are going to run it, but, you know. Okay. Don't want you. We do have a Jawari Disruption, which is nice. We're only going to run one forest. And we're not running all... Oh, are we running all these lands? I guess... Oh, no, not these, because we're not splashing black anymore. Yeah. So... We do have pretty good mana thanks to all these dual blue-white lands, so that's good. But the thing... I mean, this deck either needed to be ramp, or it needed to be... Reanimator, and we didn't do either, really, which I think is not great, but I think we'll be okay. We
could probably cut the caravan. We have enough card draw and stuff. You know, the game will go long enough that we can cast Thragtusk, and the caravan is pretty bad when you can't crew it that consistently, and I don't think we really can. Don't really want Alrund. He's definitely less impressive than most of what we have going on up here. I mean, I guess I could cut Thragtusk. I mean, I just love Restoration Angel and Yorion and Ephemerate with Thragtusk. It's just so good that it makes it hard for me to want to go a different route than that. I can probably find some other things to cut. Like, we probably have enough counter magic. And I think OG is pretty good too. Gives us another way to blink things. And we have several creatures that are good when they blink. Thragtusk is just like the most busted one. Maybe we just lose Ow up here. Oh, I'm at 14 lands. Good to know. So we actually need to cut 3 more cards. That probably means we have to lose. Now I can't lose Thragtusk. I can't do it. Oh yeah, we have the Simulacrum too, so we actually are fine on Thragtusk. Yeah. But we do need to add more lands. We could count Jawari, but in a deck like this, I don't know that we can get away with counting Jawari. So that gives us 10 of both of those, which is quite good. And then 1 forest, which is what we need. So, maybe we just don't need, like, an opt effect. It's not like we're getting that many spell triggers. I mean, it's good with, like, Ledger Shredder and OG, I guess, but it's not that big of a deal, I don't think. Hard to, you know, Cube, it's always hard with Cube. There's just so many good cards, you know. We probably don't need both Portable Hull and Fading Hope. I think we'll just run Portable Hull, and then do we really want Search for Azcanta? Yes, probably. Probably so. Yeah, this last cut is not an easy one. Yeah. Do I need Portable Hull? That might just be what gets axed in the end. Like, we have sweepers and other removal spells, so I think maybe Portable Hull's unnecessary. Alright. So yeah, I mean, the biggest theme this deck has is blinking stuff, which is fun. But I don't know if it's going to be powerful enough. I guess maybe we should have just lost Approach, because our deck probably wants to win with creatures more than it does with Approach, but having Approach as a backup plan isn't bad. There it is. Turn 2 Ledger Shredder or Treasure Map is pretty nice. I guess we could just plan on Day of Judgmenting, just like play out Treasure Map, bide our time. Yeah, looks like that's probably a good idea. Just hang back, play things that don't get blown up by Day of Judgment, and then blow up the whole board in a few turns. Yeah, I'm down with it. So if they go tall on a single creature, my plan may not work out quite as well. Another sweeper.
But I think for now, we're fine. That crawling barons is kind of annoying. Well, we can hit that with farewell. Do we really need another Hengegate pathway? Probably not. Okay, that's a nice draw. Use it to grab our forest. I mean, we do need blue mana at some point, but I think grabbing forest here makes sense. I mean, we already have one blue mana. More would be good, but we want to be able to play Thragtusk if we draw it. Okay, so I'm probably going to Day of Judgment this turn. Yeah. Hearse is still going to be around, which is going to be obnoxious, but it's probably okay. So yeah, we'll just Day of Judgment here. Need to get rid of Thalia. I'm just gonna have this Enter tapped. I'm at low enough life that I think that seems wise. I could use my treasure map. I could be putting a hold on my upkeep, I guess. I'm only 1 mana away from approach. And they don't look like they have anything, so... Do we just approach? Probably. Yeah. Just cast approach and see what happens. Might just win that way this time. They could be sending crawling barons at me, but apparently they don't want to. We do put a hold on our upkeep now because we want to draw approach as soon as we can. It's rough to have to play a Brutal Cathar. That's why they weren't playing anything, because they were like, what's the point? So let's do this. And now they have to pressure me some, so they are. Yeah, we don't need another land. Thanks, though. Okay. Go away. Stop. Thank you. So we play Ledger Shredder here. And leave up Restoration Angel. And pass the turn. Put a hold on our upkeep again. Elder Gargaroth. Yeah, that's big. Doesn't matter that much if we can just win with our approach, but... Do I flash in Restoration Angel here just to have more of a board presence? Probably. I do have Ephemerate still, so yeah, seems worth it. We can always farewell if things get really out of hand. So, man, I forgot to put the hold on my upkeep. Too late to the game. Doesn't make a huge difference. I mean, I'm still gonna scry when I scry. I guess, I just passed the turn here. You know, in case they tap all their mana or something, then Disruption's fine. There's probably going to be a farewell in the future because of that Gargaroth. Oh, they're also going to transform this. Yeah, that part's not so good. I'm glad I have a hold on their upkeep. That's good. Thank goodness for that. Thragtusk. Yeah, Jawari doesn't do it, so we will be casting Farewell. They do get to have, so I'm going to cast Farewell anyway. May as well double block. Let's scry real quick. I could cast a second spell. That's actually probably just what we want to do here, because that gets me one card closer. Yeah, so unfortunately it has trample, so I can't really prevent the damage. So I think we just take the damage here. I could have blocked with one of them, I guess, but I just don't think it's necessary. Oh, wait, I didn't connive. What did I do that I thought was a spell? No one knows. I don't know what I was thinking, actually. Not playing my best today. But we should just be able to get there with our treasure. Yeah, so... Sure. We draw a card. Okay. So, 2 cards left. We have 3, 4, 5, 8 mana. So we can't quite draw them both. So yeah, we probably just cast Farewell here. I mean, I can draw them both, but I can't draw them and cast them. Cast Approach. So I may as well just wait a turn. Yeah. So, just exile everything. Guess we don't really want to exile artifacts, because we'd like to hold on to our treasure. Oh, yeah, that's a good call. Yeah, alright, so Farewell. Now we do just exile everything. We draw our Approach. And then we can cast it next turn. It's funny, I was like, I don't know that we need Approach, but I think it's what's going to win us this particular game, so... Could I have cracked a treasure, played Apparition, and still cast Approach this same turn? Kind of feels like the answer is maybe. They do get to have a 3/3, but I don't think it's going to kill me before I cast Approach, if I had to guess. Yep, I think we got there. With the Approach win. Crack a treasure, play Apparition to draw 4. No, we didn't quite have the mana to do it all. They did that just to scare me, like they had Mana Tithe. I wouldn't have even done it because we had an untapped land. All right, we won with Approach. It's definitely a bucket list thing for Cube. Now we just need to start doing wacky things with Thragtusk. That's the other thing I want to do most of all with this deck. See you later, Ramsey. I probably won't be streaming tomorrow, just so you know. We're at that point in the limited season where I'm only streaming once a weekend. Whew. No white mana, but we've got a Simulacrum and a Search for Azcanta. Do kind of need to play Jawari on turn 1. I think we can keep it. Yeah, we're going to play Jawari, which is sad, but... Ooh, aggro. Okay. I see the aggro. Do I just need to hold on to mana here to flash in my adversary to kill Magda? Maybe. Yeah. I think that's what I'm going to try to do. Okay, well, wait. Yeah, we can still kill it, because it's only a 3/2. Yeah. You don't get to draw a card even, so that ends up being pretty good card advantage for us in the end. I will take it happily. Alright, there's a sweeper. Let's play our search. Now we can... I do need double white for Day of Judgment at some point. Okay. Do I want Ephemerate? I mean, it's pretty good with Solemn and OG, so I guess probably. The problem is... Yeah, I guess we just Owl. We kill Owl with Valorous Stance, probably. Yeah, I guess we hold on to Ephemerate. We wait to kill Owl until their turn. I mean, I could play Simulacrum, but once they have other stuff in play, being able to put +1/+1 counters on them is a big problem. I would much rather they just get, like, a permanent or two and put it on the battlefield than I would they put counters on everything. Although maybe not when we have Day of Judgment. Yeah, let's go ahead and pass the turn. Yeah, I think we stance Owl here. Hopefully they don't have their own stance or something else to protect him. They do not. So they are going to get something, but it's highly unlikely it's better than Owl. You know, Owl had us on a 4-turn clock, so, you know. That's pretty bad for us, actually. Oh my god. We need white mana so badly, because we need a Day of Judgment, like, now. So I think we just have to throw Charming Prince away. Good. So yeah, we're just going to Day of Judgment now. Get rid of those things. I guess I didn't have anything great to cast, but I think that was probably still the right thing to do. Scry 2, then draw 2. I'm down with that. Yeah, we can throw this land away. Yorion, huh? Okay. Simulacrum plus Ephemerate is pretty strong. Kind of think we just OG, though. We need to find one of our win conditions. And I guess we can actually blink it twice this turn if we really want to. Okay, we probably do want Gale. Because if I cast Ephemerate here, I get to do it again, but there's not that much value in doing that because Scry. So yeah, playing Gale and then getting back Day of Judgment or whatever is pretty good. So I think we just pass. Oh yeah, so now we definitely Ephemerate. What you got? There might be something under this that I want more. Not really. I do kind of want both, but I think we leave things as they are. Dang. That is an aggressive Sweltering Suns. Yeah, well, I guess we don't get a second trigger from Ephemerate. It makes sense now, doesn't it? Alright, so let's cast Gale. And we'll get back Dave Judgment. Unfortunately, his ability only triggers if we cast him, so Yorion doesn't do anything. Yorion is basically our win condition right now, though, so... Yeah, I'm gonna want that Apparition. Ooh, God. What do I want to kill more? I mean, Day of Judgment can kill the Ledger Shredder. I could just fire off Day of Judgment here. What do you do when you transform? Nothing that good right now. Like a Day of Judgment now and Skyclave Apparition next turn, I think is pretty good. They do still get to discard 2, draw 2. Yeah, so that means we attack. Nice. And then, yeah, we'll Day of Judgment. We can Apparition the Fable. It will have already given them some pretty significant value, unfortunately for us. Oh, God. Alright, we need Farewell, basically, is what we're looking at now. We need to find our Farewell. We're actually 1 mana shy of casting it, but I still think we do everything we can to find it. Plus we have Simulacrum in our hand, so... And we do Transform. We take damage from an emblem. Yeah, I'm not loving this. So if we Simulacrum the Fable, they can just kill it, but that's probably fine. Keeps them from getting their nonsense going. So we have Neutralize up, which is nice, but yeah, they can just use this ability to kill this. They don't get the Fable back, they just get a 3/3, so that's preferable to more Fable triggers. They're just going to go for the kill on us, apparently. Isn't that interesting? I need 1 more mana to use that ability. So, yeah. Am I supposed to, like, play Yorion so I can pressure Chandra more? Ugh, thank God I have Neutralize. We're going to play Simulacrum here. So even if we get Farewell, this emblem might kill us before it matters. Do 3 to everything? Yeah. We do get to draw a card, which means we might draw Farewell, but they get a 3/3. It's really amazing they still haven't fixed this sound glitch. It's been so long, and it still isn't fixed. Ooh. Okay, so I think we play Ledger Shredder and Yorion here. Farewell doesn't hit Planeswalkers. Good call. Seems like that's a problem. I guess we just need to pressure them with flyers so that we don't die. That's the plan now. So they can use the -5 or whatever to kill Yorion, but that's not really going to do anything. So, I mean, it will, but Chandra dies if that's what they do. And if Chandra dies, I think we can maybe erase the emblems. Yeah. They can also just take her up to 7 loyalty here, which is more damage than I can do. We're losing 3 a turn now. We do have a few ways to gain life. Do I use this? I actually think we do. There's Farewell, but like we've noted, it doesn't actually do much. Still might be the best pickup. I don't know. Treasure Map might just be better. Because, like, Approach is one way we could win, despite the problems. Okay. So, do we race Chandra? Problem is, she can just kill Yorion now, and then we lose our clock, so I think the answer is no. I think the answer is no. Yeah, these emblem. I think the emblem will kill us before we can do anything. They do have a creature land too, so yeah. What do I need to draw? Elish Norn? Even Elish Norn's not that great. Thragtusk would be pretty good. Anything that gains us life would be pretty good. That's for sure. That doesn't gain us life. Yeah, so we go my turn. We use Treasure Map again. Don't kill Yorion. I have, like, no hope if they kill Yorion. Pretty good chance they do, though. 2 cards in their hand. They're a control deck. Oh, not only do they kill Yorion, they hit us with Magma Opus. Okay. There's Thragtusk, but I have a feeling it's not going to be enough anymore. We'll go ahead and draw him, but yeah, we go to 5. We draw. Well, let's see what we could hit here with Azcanta. There's Approach, but it's going to be too slow. Yeah. Too slow. This takes us up to 10 again. But yeah. Do I not have any good ways to deal with Planeswalkers in this deck? Kind of don't think we do. Yeah, add Jin Gataxias to the mix. Okay, so block that. Get a 3/3. We're gonna do that. Doesn't really solve our problem, but it'll be funny. So, what does this drop us to now? 2. Yeah, okay. So, Approach will get countered if I try to cast it, but it is funny to cast Elish Norn here. I guess I could draw. No, I can't. I use my treasure map. I don't think there's much we could draw that would have solved our problems. Since, like, everything gets countered. We will kill Chandra just to do it. And then we lose. Yeah, just didn't have a way to deal with that Planeswalker. I think maybe I should have played Yorion sooner to pressure them. That was probably the better move. In the end, they never removed Yorion. So, definitely seems like that's where we should have gone. Our sound is back. Yay. It's not a very fast hand, but oh good, they played a mountain. That's just what you want to see when you don't have a fast hand. If we can get to Elish Norn, it'd be pretty hard for a red deck to beat us. Although, kind of looks like they're not actually an aggro deck, which is interesting. If they are an aggro deck, they got a really bad hand. Yeah, looks like they are some sort of aggro deck. I keep hitting the button too late. That is annoying. Okay. So... Ledger Shredder, I guess? We need another white mana, and then we can deal with that thing reasonably enough. I can block and ephemerate my own Shredder, which isn't the worst thing in the world. In terms of not getting damaged. They may try to kill the Shredder, too, which we'd be okay with. Ox of Agonis. Okay, this is getting sketchy in a hurry. They do have 2 red mana up, but I'm seriously considering this ephemerate plan. No, I'm not. The one thing about it is it would probably set up a connive, but... So they could Ox of Agonis. Not yet. They need more cards in their graveyard. Alright. So, we're going to treasure map now. I mean, Farewell is amazing and all. But I'm so far from casting it that I think we just have to get rid of it. Then we're going to scry again. Don't really need OG either, this situation. There we go. So, yeah, we'll play 1 white. We'll Apparition away this Bone Crusher. And I guess we'll even attack them for 1. Okay. It's not what you're hoping to see. So, did they exert it? Yes. Kill Ledger Shredder. Okay. Could be worse, maybe. Yep, it is worse. Land. I mean... No? Okay. So we can Spectral Adversary and, like, phase things out. We could also just use Karn's +1. This won't be attacking us this turn, so that part's cool. We do have 6 mana. We can play Elish Norn next turn, potentially. We have 8 mana total. But yeah, not loving this situation. Now I wish I had that Farewell. So I think we flash in the adversary and phase out the 3/3 to prevent the damage. Yeah, we would have been able to cast Farewell, that's for sure. Which is a little annoying. So we'll cast Elish Norn here. This thing still does 4, unfortunately, for us. when it exerts. I think we end the turn, leave up Ephemerate. They're going to have to do something else on top of that for her to actually die. So I think we just let it happen. And I think we block. Yeah, so then we ephemerate her. I think we might have just turned the corner. If this actually works, I think we did. Okay, they are pressuring us a bit, which I'm less excited about. Yeah, we decline that. There's neutralize. So, Karn. Day of Judgment and Island. I wonder which one they're going to give us. The Island's actually kind of useful because it at least lets us have up neutralize. How big are you? Not that big. I'm kind of thinking about just swinging here. Taking 3 on the backswing. They can't even kill Karn. I have neutralize up, so yeah. I think we just attack. Alright, we got him down to 14. We both take 1. Ooh, we go to 7 here if I let this resolve. Do I let this resolve? They have 1 other card in their hand. I mean, that's real damage in this game. Like, that is a problem. No, I don't think we let it resolve. They could have something better, but I really don't want to take 2 damage. Man, Experimental Frenzy is not good. Yeah, I mean, it would have died, but it would have dropped us to 7, and that's a race I didn't like the looks of, but obviously... yeah, okay. So you attack us down to 7. Ooh, Torrential Gearhulk, you say? That's pretty good. Do we just +1 again? This Frenzy is definitely a problem. There's nothing I can do about it, though. Let's +1. Okay. Both of those are pretty good in this situation, so... I don't know which one they give me. I will be happy with either. Charming Prince. Okay, so we attack them. 4, 5, 6, 7. I can't leave up my Gearhulk if I do that, but I think just playing this and gaining 3 is pretty good. It'd also be a 4/4, obviously. So yeah, I think we attack them for 9 here. They block with that. The token doesn't happen because, you know, Hellish Norn. Leave up Gearhulk is probably the safest move, I guess, because I can counter something that might otherwise kill us. Yeah, it's probably the safer move. Leaves up Disruption, too, if that ends up being what we need. Alright, so we go to 6. They go to 7. Their thing gets a counter. Okay, so yeah, we Gearhulk and counter that. All right, we got there. Luckily, we were able to interact with everything they were trying to do. This sound glitch is so weird. Just the fact that they haven't been able to fix it in, like, how long has this sound glitch been a thing? It's at least a month, right? I think I first remember it happening... You know, I think I first remember it happening with the... Oh, it was the Alchemy Horizons early access event. It was the first time it happened. At least 4 updates, yeah. Yeah. That's a long time. Too long. Okay, well, I do think this is a keep. You know, first of all, we haven't done any Thragtusk shenanigans, and we have the means, but having the Scry and all this makes it a lot better. You know, Treasure Map and Simulacrum are going to make sure we get what we need here. And then we also have, you know, all these... got basically a win condition and a sweeper, so... It is weird, you know, I don't play a whole lot of other games, like these sorts of games. Is it normal to have as many technical problems that don't get fixed by updates? I mean, they're all sort of trivial problems, like the sound glitch is not exactly important, but, you know, I think especially as a content creator, part of the reason you use Arena instead of Magic Online is what it looks and sounds like. And if you can't make the sound happen, then, you know. Alright, another land is nice. Yeah, we'll play Treasure Map. We are going to put a hold on our upkeep, because we're not casting anything this turn anyway, so... Ah! Ugh. I looked at chat and didn't realize it was my draw step and screwed that up. Yay! Luckily it's not that big of a problem, but it's less than ideal. I'd like to scry. Okay, so... Farewell is something we're going to want in the near future. We take 3 here. We're going to activate this. Nope. Don't want Karn. Do we scry again on our upkeep? The only thing is, if I draw a land, I can play Simulacrum, and I think that sets us up. And if I scry, I can't do both. So I think I have to take the risk of taking more damage here. Alright, we did draw a land. We good. We're so good at this game. Yeah, we want to go, I guess, white. But now we get to go Simulacrum, grab our forest. Apparition, sure. Do I just want to farewell if I'm given the opportunity to do it here? And I am given it. I mean, I could play Thragtusk and Ephemerate, which gives us a lot of value, but I sort of think clearing this out, and I even get to hold on to my treasure map, like, clearing things out seems pretty good here. I also get a 4/4 token out of the deal, which makes it even more appealing, so... Yeah, we're going to go ahead and cast Farewell. We're going to hit creatures. I guess graveyards. And I guess enchantments, you know, just to be safe. So we get our 4/4. Then next turn we can start the Thrag Tusk Ephemerate nonsense. That's sad. And we can't ever get it back. Okay, so Thrag Tusk. There's no reason I have to do it now, so I don't think I do. I think we just pass. Yeah, and then we ephemerate, get ridiculous value while dodging a removal spell. Oh yeah. Feels good. They might be able to kill it now, but... Okay, Basilisk Collar. We will treasure map. Ooh. I can't say no to this, because we're going to get to blink it again, in addition to the Ephemerate doing it again. God, I know. I love... You know, I'm so glad they put this in the cube, because this is one of my favorite combos. Just... Thrag Tusk nonsense. Alright, so we're going to attack them with this. Then we're going to play Charming Prince and blink Thrag Tusk again. I don't know how they're going to find a way to beat us. I mean, their own sweeper, I guess. But I can even make something indestructible, so... I don't know. I don't know what their plan is. If it's equip Basilisk Collar... Ah, their own sweeper. There it is. Okay, so... Let's do this first, and then we probably make Thrag Tusk indestructible. Bottom that. Make Thrag Tusk indestructible. Draw a card with this. Their own sweeper is definitely a problem. That's pretty good when you have 1,000,000 mana. Alright, so we attack for 5 here. We can just play a huge Spectral Adversary like we're a ramp deck or something. I would say the soul of this cube, huh? That's some deep talk right there. So, in response to that, we play Adversary. How many times can we kick it? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So, I think we hold on to our treasure to draw cards. There's a Ledger Shredder. We draw a card with this. Wait, did I have lethal? No, I could only kick it one more time, so I wouldn't quite have had lethal. All right, they scoop. That was sweet. So I'd say this cube is... It's not the most powerful cube ever, and it's also not the most synergistic cube. It's more about sort of classical archetypes, like aggro, control, reanimator, things like that. It doesn't really have... You know, there's Tinkerer's Cube, which is really all about synergy. And there's Chromatic Cube, which is all about power. And then there's Arena Cube, which is more, you know, sort of typical Magic. You can do busted things, like we just blinked Thrag Tusk like 4 times. But, you know, it's not really the heart and soul of the format. I mean, I think the best decks in this format are the mono black, or no, not mono black, mono red and mono white aggro decks. And then like one of the best build arounds is Field of the Dead. That deck is really, really good when you can make it work. But yeah, it's an interesting cube. No green, but it's still a pretty good hand. We got to do Thrag Tusk stuff. We've won with Approach of the Second Sun. I'm happy. We're just gonna play his Hallowed Fountain tapped. I do think I have more fun in Tinkerer's Cube. I think that's maybe the most fun of all the cubes. But yeah. Okay. Not really. Like, I could flash an adversary and start attacking them. That's not like the worst plan ever. Yeah. I'm kind of thinking about it. I think we do it. Obviously, it has some sweeter things it can do than just attack things, but, you know, I think most of the time we're going to win by attacking things. Plus, if we have Elish Norn, we want to be playing stuff out anyway. We get to play OG here, so that'll help a lot. Ooh. Kind of assumed they were an aggro deck, but an aggro deck doesn't play Dryad of the Elysian Grove, so that's disturbing. Could be some sort of graveyard deck with Dread Wanderer. Ledger Shredder, okay. I think we play OG here. We'll attack. Play OG. Treasure map. Yeah. I can go Ledger Shredder, Treasure map next turn. That's pretty good. That is pretty good. Hopefully this deck doesn't bottom out like our last one where we started like 3-0 and then finished 3-3. Hopefully we can avoid such an outcome. See, if we'd had Unburial Rites in our deck this time, we could have set it up with Ledger Shredder and Elish Norn, but, you know. Ugh. It is powered down, so there's that, but I'm still not loving seeing Asika's Chariot here. We need to find Farewell, as we often need to do. As we often need to do. Just need to find that Farewell. Forest would be pretty good, too. I can actually blink OG again here as well, so that's good. So yeah, we play Ledger Shredder. I guess I attack them first, probably, but they're tapped out. It doesn't matter. We'll play Treasure Map here. So we'll blink OG to scry and gain 2 again. Ooh, Yorion. Yeah. I mean, I'd like to get Thragtusk in play too, but, you know, you can't have it all. Although I do have to discard something. I kind of forgot about that. Maybe it is just Thragtusk. We don't have green. We're not that close to getting green. Yeah. I think we're just might win this game with Flyers and Elish Norn. Entirely possible. So, Yorion, probably just used to blink OG again. I'm probably going to draw my Forest now and be heartbroken. I mean, there's a decent chance we do, I guess, between the Scry and, like, an OG trigger or something, but... Ooh, what are you gonna tutor up? They don't even have to show us. That's what always bothers me about this kind of tutor. You know, the fact you can search up anything is really good, but the fact that search up anything tutors also give your opponent 0 information, like, actually matters. It's not impossible they're playing a sweeper of some kind. Yeah, I mean, they can crew their Chariot. So they do. We are going to drop them to 10 this turn, add another flyer to the table. And if we can just scry into, like, 2 lands, I think we're going to have a pretty good time. Alright, so we take 4. I don't care too much about what's going on the ground or with tokens, given what our hand looks like. No, Gale's not very good here. So we're gonna bottom Gale. Leaving up Neutralize is certainly tempting, but I think we just keep our foot on the gas pedal here. Drop them to 10. Play Yorion. Guess we may as well blink the adversary. It gets to come into play untapped. So we do not want to blink Ledger Shredder because of the counter. So we do exile both of these. So we can draw back-to-back lands, and I think that's probably good enough for us. Just because that means we play Elish Norn. We also have Neutralize. I mean, they're going to be able to do something to our board this turn maybe, but it's going to be hard for them to do next turn. And if things go sideways, I can always remove a land with Treasure Map. So I think we just leave it. I guess we probably use the map if only to get it closer to transforming, even though we know it's on top of our library and we kind of want to leave it there. They do have a bunch of mana. We don't know what they tutored up. I guess if it is a sweeper... Ooh, that's pretty gross. Yeah. So, I guess the only thing they have that's really worth blinking is their Chariot. So that's not the end of the world, and we still have Elish Norn waiting in the wings, so Elish Norn will solve this problem. A little surprised they killed that instead of Ledger Shredder, but I'm okay with it in the end. Yeah, they get another cat token. We're going to do this just to put a counter on it, basically. Leave that there. Play a Deserted Beach and end our turn. We can neutralize anything that's super problematic. We will not be using our treasure map this time. Yeah, I'd say that's super problematic. They're probably a Field of the Dead deck. Do they have counter magic to protect this? That could be a problem. We haven't really seen... Oh, I guess we have. The Mythos is blue. Thank you for the follow, Kalino Clock and Summerzite. We have 2 mana left. It's not super likely it's something I'm going to be concerned about. So they can make another token. It does kill this token. If Isika's Chariot... Yeah. We're going to wipe most of their board. They're going to hold on to weakened forms of the Dryad and their token of Yorion. But that's it. Meanwhile, all of our creatures will be able to attack. Although, I guess... No, yeah, they'll all be able to attack without dying or being capable of dying. They could blink Yorion here. It gives them another cat and an untapped Chariot. So, You have to lose one of them, right? It doesn't have a not legendary clause. No, yeah, they have to lose one of them. Luckily. If they didn't have to lose any of them, we'd be in trouble. Wait, how are they able to target our creature? Oh, the fight effect. Oh, that is bad. I mean, I think we're still going to be okay, but they copied the token and it gains the fight effect. Oh, okay. No, it didn't. Thank God for that. I don't know what was happening there. It looked like it was going to get to fight my creature. Go, Elish Norn. I guess they could have something to counter it here. They do not. Now we swing out. They have to block and go to 2. Works for me. It's not really good game yet. I mean, it basically is, but it's not. Okay, it is if you take it all. You could have blocked the 6 and taken 8, but I'll take it. Yeah, Reanimator is definitely a thing in this cube. As is Ramp. And then you have, you know, like I said earlier, they're all sort of classical Magic archetypes. Nothing super wacky. Like, it's, you know, the green-white deck sort of has like a +1/+1 counter theme, but it's just not well supported enough. It's just an aggro deck, basically. And one that's worse than the faster mono-white and mono-red ones, basically. This is not a very good hand. God, do we have to mulligan? Gale doesn't do anything. We can't do anything early. I think we have to send it back. All right, this one's better. It's still a little slow. Do I want Approach in my opening hand? I mean, I guess. Mulliganing is not good. All right, well, if we can draw Farewell and the mana for it, I think we'll be okay. Which I think means we want to play this as a Plains, just in case we never see another white source for the rest of our lives. Be pretty happy if they don't play anything here. They do not. So we can... No, yes, they do. Okay. Player Beach here. Leave up Supreme Will. Seems like we're going to be... Ooh, God. Yeah, we're going to counter that. It'll kill us way too fast before we can ever get to Farewell and stuff, if we just let that happen. Okay. Can play Yorion next turn. It's not going to do anything other than be a big flyer that maybe causes them some problems. All right, Pilgrim's Eye. Thank you for the raid, Hedology Magic. So today we drafted like the most aggressive deck you can in the format, and then like the most dirtily deck in the format, which is pretty fun. So, do we just play Jawari here so that we can Farewell next turn if we want to? Or do I just play Yorion and see if maybe we go a different route altogether? Still at 16. I mean, I don't hate playing Yorion. Like, if things go in that direction, I can just, like, approach and, you know, pressure them that way. Yeah, I think we just play Yorion here. Maybe they'll blow it up with, like, Banishing Light or some sort of effect like that. That would be cool. Because then when we cast Farewell, we get it back. Good old Bird Serpent. Mana Quarry is a weird place. I feel like they should only be rolling this background out during Halloween because they went so Halloween-y on it. But I guess we're only a couple months away. Okay. Interesting. They're definitely going a more controlling route. Okay. This is Exile, so we'll be able to kill him. We can also just counter him now. So let's play our Disruption. I don't really think we bother with attacking at this point. I mean, maybe we do. But they have so much life that, like, I don't love it. I think we kind of just chill and probably try to win with Approach. Especially if we clear out the board. I'm probably going to neutralize Heliod just because I'd like to get them to commit even more stuff to the board and just hang back for a while. So yeah, we'll counter Heliod here. Do need to draw a land to cast Approach. If I draw a land, that's definitely what I do. I just approach and then hold on to Farewell until I have to cast it, basically. Yeah, that doesn't worry me too much. It's getting tempting to cast Farewell. I do have to lose my Yorion. Okay, well I can just get it back now. Hey, look. The music showed up. So, I think we cast Farewell now. I think I'm going to attack them and cast Farewell. I don't want to exile graveyards when I have Gale in my hand. So let's attack. Yeah. Okay, so then we cast Farewell. Exile all creatures, artifacts, and enchantments. I guess I can sack the Alseid so it goes to the graveyard. That's like the thing they can do here. That's about it, though. Everything else goes away. And because we have Gale, we can just get it back. So, yeah. Which I'm sure is really what our opponent wants us to be doing, you know? Cast Gale, get back Farewell. If I draw a 7th land, especially if they don't do anything significant here, I may just cast Approach. I think that's a likely outcome. What is our opponent doing? They mad about the Farewell? Yeah, it seems pretty likely. Seems like that is probably it. Got one card left. We're at 16. We have a Farewell we can get back out of our graveyard and an Approach in our hand. I like our chances. I like our chances. All right, yeah, so 7th land. I think we just cast Approach. Go up to 23. Make them find a way to deal with us. I could get Supreme Will back, which would get me to approach faster. That is interesting. That might just be the best play when we play Gale now, because it lets us look at the top 4. Yeah. That might be better. It depends on what they do. If they play some permanent I can't outrace by getting to my approach, then yeah, I probably get Farewell. Some people get really mad when they play control decks. And I think that's what's happened here. You know, you don't exactly want your opponent's back-to-back turns to be Farewell into Approach of the Second Sun. And you have 1 permanent in play, and they're at 23 life, you know. I feel them to some extent, but, you know. In general, I feel like mid-range decks in this format are at a massive disadvantage. You know, they can't beat a lot of the aggro decks consistently enough, and they can't really beat the control decks. Like, the control decks have too powerful of tools, and the aggro decks are too fast, for the most part. Okay. Cycle, you line up the shot. Play land. You have a really scary permanent? I guess you might with that amount of mana. You might have drawn into it. So if they don't play anything else, I think we definitely grab Supreme Will, because it'll get us to our approach very quickly. We'll draw a card, look at the top 4 and get one, and then, yeah. And we don't have to worry about this Chwinga killing us or anything like that. Draw a card, top 4, draw a card. So we'll have to wait 2 more turns, I guess, before we get there. But our opponents in top deck mode are not very many single cards that can solve this problem for them. I mean, I can even hold on to Supreme Verdict to use it as a counter spell if I have to. Granted, you know, Mana Leak isn't exactly strong on a board of 8 mana when our opponent has 8 mana. But if they have something really expensive and powerful that they're trying to power out, I guess we do have that as the backup plan if we grab Supreme Will. Alright. So, yeah, we'll cast Gale. Also just gives us a blocker. I mean, that definitely matters on this board. 1, 2, 3, 4. Maybe one of these will also get us deeper in our library. It's not like we don't have a bunch of Scry. Like we could hit OG, for example, or our treasure map. Yeah, we haven't drawn our treasure map. The slow rolling here is pretty painful. The roping, guess that's what people call it. I never get it personally. Like, if I am mad about something, I just scoop so that I'm not wasting anybody's time. Rather than this. This is much more, you know, aggressive, basically, because you are wasting somebody's time. And that's your intention, is to waste their time. So, you know. Alright, play Gale, get back Supreme Will. I guess I'll play this land and end my turn. I mean, if they're having connectivity problems or whatever, that's a whole other thing. But it seems a sort of intentional to me. Yeah, disrespectful. That's a better word than aggressive. Scooping, it can also be kind of poor gamesmanship, but it's not as disrespectful. I don't think. But yeah. And yes, control decks are frustrating to play against. I know. We all know. And especially if you're used to playing most limited formats, like, and this is your first time cubing, like, control decks are never a thing in regular limited formats. Not like this, where you have, like, 2 sweepers, Approach of the Second Sun, counter magic, like, you know, a bunch of blink engine-y things we can do. So if you haven't experienced it before in limited, it's extra annoying, because you just don't expect it, you know? It's just not something that happens for the most part. All right, so let's Supreme Will. Look at the top 4. We do hit a treasure map, so we can scry right away and draw it on our next turn. Is that? We're already going to draw it on our next turn, so maybe we'd rather have something else, because we're going to draw one of these, then draw this, then draw it, and we're not going to be able to draw it right away. So, yeah, it doesn't really matter. I guess Valorous Stance makes the most sense. Search for Azcanta is kind of funny. So we'll just end our turn. We don't want to play the search. We don't have to put it into our graveyard, but I don't even want to misclick, you know? I don't want to mess it up. I do not want to mess it up. You know, what they're doing, too, is extra intentional, because they're making sure that it doesn't make them auto-lose, because they're coming back just in time to keep that from happening every time. So yay! What a fun game. All right, they did finally lose. We'll call that another win with Approach, though. Five and 1. So we did better today with the control deck, which usually I don't think is that good in this format. Although adding, you know, the amount of sweepers that are in the format do make it better. But I would overall recommend more aggressive and explosive type decks than I would control. Unless, I mean, if you have Field of the Dead, that's a whole other story. If you have Field of the Dead, you should be like a 5-color control deck. That deck is like its own category, though. That's how good Field is. But, you know, just blue-white control, you know, it's not a deck I love in the format, but we're performing pretty well with it. All right, pretty good hand. Our mana has been great. I mean, having these 4 duels really is nice. We've even gotten our Forest when we needed it. I guess we discarded Thragtusk once when we didn't get it, and we do have that option, so it's pretty nice. Opponent goes first. Definitely keep this. We don't have anything that exciting to do with Ephemerate just yet, but, you know, saving a creature from removal can be exciting. The blink angle has actually mattered in a couple games, so that's been fun. Okay, there seemed to be a ramp deck, but no turn 1 mana elf is making me pretty happy. So yeah, we play out the Shredder, and then from here we probably just start leaving mana up for our counter spells and flashing a Restoration Angel in and trying to win that way. Another one of those, huh? Okay. Don't love it. Do I attack now? Kind of doesn't seem worth it. I think we just pass. We want to hold on to as much life as possible, you know? I am glad I can counter that. I guess we use Supreme Will to counter it. Yeah. What do you have? 1 mana? I'm just gonna take it. It's not worth the risk of something bad happening to our Ledger Shredder. Okay. So, play Island. We'll leave up. You know, I think we do attack now, because we're gonna gain life and whatnot that will allow us to eventually win this race. So I think we attack. Leave these things up. We counter something if something happens. We blink something if something happens. Although I'd like to get OG in play to blink that first, but you know. And we have Neutralize if they try to play another big, scary spell. You know, it's not big, but it is in fact scary. So we'll go ahead and neutralize it. Tireless Tracker is just a crazy value engine. And the kind of thing that we can't necessarily beat by just like, you know, using a Wrath. Like they may have drawn so many cards that we just can't beat it. Okay. So I could double spell here. OG plus Ephemerate doesn't seem bad. Neither does Restoration Angel. We could use the Apparition to hurt their mana, at least. 2. That's not bad either. I think that might be what we do, because the Dryad is definitely enabling their deck to do things, and we're out of counter magic now, so interfering with their ability to do things seems pretty good. And that is certainly what we would do, because all their lands would just turn into forests and mountains. Like, they can't even cast something like Ow with, without the Dryad, so... Let's play the Apparition here. We get to leave up Ephemerate. I mean, I don't know how much I want to use it, but we can. Okay, so they're throwing a land away, even. End our turn. I guess if they play something really scary, giving them back a 3/3 and exiling their thing is pretty good, but it can only exile small things, so... Do they have a spell they can get back? No. That is good news. They're just going to throw a couple elementals at me, I guess. Interesting. Maybe they'll do that instead. Okay. So... I'm going to play OG here. See what we have going on top of our library. Can't cast Thragtusk right now, and I don't really want another Plains, so... I could Ephemerate. If I do that and then attack... Well, I can already make sure that happens. Yeah, okay, so let's Ephemerate OG. So, do that. We get this trigger twice. Valorous Stance seems okay. Gives us removal if they draw a big scary monster. We draw a card, although would I rather have Restoration Angel or Valorous Stance? Probably Restoration Angel. We'll attack this down to 1. Oh, you know what? The way I stacked that, we lost our Ephemerate. That's kind of a bummer. I should have blinked something else or nothing with OG's trigger. Okay. Luckily, she doesn't have enough loyalty to copy a spell in the graveyard, so I'm not too upset about it. Or maybe they just have more removal. How much did they just do with Primal Might? How much are they paying, Arena? So they bolted for 2. And then they... Well, it doesn't matter. I have to discard a non-land anyway. So I'm going to discard Treasure Map. I don't need to do the math because I don't have a choice. So... Nice. That is fun. They hit a Dromoka's Command, but they can't cast it. Same for Fall of the Imposter. So, do they have until their next turn, though? Where's that bolt? No. They have to use them now. Hi, Sudoku. Glad you enjoy the content. We got another set review starting in just a couple weeks. You know, if they have something else they're going to use here to kill OG, then that's fine by us, I think. Hey, there's Approach. Yeah, obviously we don't have the mana to Approach. So we finish Chandra off here and then just leave up Restoration Angel. Love me some Ledger Shredder. So, no matter what, we probably flash in our Angel to blink OG here. That is less than ideal. Especially if they can buff their 3/3. I think we just take 3, like... We're going to gain the life back. I could block and then blink, but I want to make sure my Ledger Shredder's still alive. So I think we just let this happen. I was like, are they going to ninjutsu or something here? What's happening? All right, yeah, so we flash in Restoration Angel. We blink OG. So we may just be able to win with flyers in this game, but having Approach as a backup plan doesn't seem too shabby to me. What's happening? Do we have somebody else rage quit on us? Ooh. So we're 1 away from Elesh Norn. We could grab the Adversary, but obviously Elesh Norn just wrecks the board and wins us the game. I'm sort of tempted to just draw Elesh Norn, but I guess I can still just draw the Adversary because drawing Elesh Norn doesn't do us any favors. So I think we just leave the Adversary on top. What just happened? My second screen is flashing. Oh, there it goes. It came back. That's not good, though. But yeah, I think we just draw the Adversary and Elesh Norn. We're fine with both of those coming off the top. We can use the Adversary to add to our Clock in the Air on top of other things, so yeah. You know, the blink effect is really good, so not blink, but phase effect to save our creatures from removal, keep their creatures from doing anything, you know, all that's pretty good. All right, they'll just scoop anyway, so. Blue-white value blink flyers control. This deck has a lot of different identities. Okay. Can we get to 7 wins with this one after sort of a disappointing mono-red performance? Maybe. Good old blue-white cards I drafted. That's a good name for the deck, too. Pooh. So Scry helps. So does Cycling, but man, having 2 7s and only 2 lands in our opener is kind of brutal. Plus our 1 green card that we may or may not get the mana for. Oh, I hate mulliganing with control decks especially. But I think we're going to do it. All right. Feels like we did the right thing. Do we put Elish Norn back? Because most likely what we're going to need to do is early game things to get to the point where we can win, and it's not like Elish Norn's our only way to win. So. And we're going to shuffle our deck and stuff anyway. It's not like we'll never draw it, so yeah. I think we hold on to the 3 lands, 4 lands, really. Okay. Probably play Charming Prince and Scry 2 this turn. Oh, never mind. We play Ledger Shredder now. Yeah, play Ledger Shredder. Do we play Jawari as a land this next turn? I don't know. Seems like there's enough we can do with Disruption in this game. Yeah, that's annoying. Especially because if we don't play anything, it transforms. Okay. So I think we attack, play Charming Prince and Scry 2. Yeah. I guess playing a white source might have been a little better here. We will Scry 2. Feels like Treasure Map is going to be kind of slow in this game. And I don't really need another land either. Yep, we take 3. Do you think they transform the thing? They do. Oh, okay. Do I want to play Simulacrum here? I think we do. I think we attack also. Play Simulacrum. Gives us something good to ephemerate. We'll grab our forest. You know, our library's getting shuffled, so who knows where Thragtusk is. What are you going to hit with that? Aggressive. Okay. So if we draw our Farewell, we get our Simulacrum back. That's cool. Grab our forest. We don't have anything to get back with. Oh, no. God. This is like a control deck's nightmare. Although our sweepers still hit it, I guess. So it could be worse. But yeah, its ability to transform, it dodges removal. It's all kind of horrible for us. So, I mean, maybe we can find a way to flash in Gearhulk. And that's like what we do. Leave up Disruption in case that works out. We can use Ephemerate too if we want to. But yeah, I think we just pass the turn now. Block Ephemerate Scry 2 doesn't sound too bad to me. Of course, neither does Flashy and Gear Hulk block a thing. Yeah, let's try the Gear Hulk plan. It's sad not to actually get anything, but we're going to block her because she does insane things if she stays around. That worked out okay. And then they played a Champions of Tier, and I no longer felt that way. God. Okay. Well, we need to draw a sweeper. I may be able to double spell on their turn if I just, like, cast Ephemerate. That's probably the plan. Ephemerate. Now, it won't let me double spell, I guess. Yeah, double team. I know. Yeah, no, we're not going to block. We're going to take 4. I like going to 5. So here's an interesting thing. I can cast Disruption here to get my first spell. And then Ephemerate. But if I do that, I end up just having to discard the second thing anyway. So we may as well not do it. So we're going to Ephemerate Charming Prince twice and try to scry into one of our sweepers, basically. That's what we're looking at here. That's what we got to try for. Gaining life is a thing, but I think scrying 4 total is probably just going to be better. Ooh, what do you do, Elishnorn? Not enough, really. You don't do enough on this board. Thragtusk is interesting. Gain 5, but it's still not really enough. Like, we straight up need a sweeper. That's what we need. So, we're just going to bottom both of those. We're going to rebound this. We're going to scry 2 more. Come on, sweeper. So, bottom both and hope we draw a sweeper. Pretty much. Yeah. That is what we're looking at. That isn't a sweeper, but might help us find one. And we're not dead on board just yet. I mean, we basically are, but we're not quite. Oh, actually we will be because this can attack. Maybe they'll miss that. They can attack with that and drain some life. Oh, we do get to draw one more time. But that still isn't a sweeper. Yeah. I think we hold on to this because it's more likely they're afraid to attack us in that situation. Yeah. Like, they might be afraid we can actually do something, you know, when we in fact can't. Let's attack with both of those. They may not actually kill us here, which gives us a little bit of an opening. We block, we go to 1. Of course, this would have given us one more card to look at. Yeah. So, if we draw a sweeper, even though we're at 1, I think we might actually be able to win this thing. And we still could. Ideally, it's our farewell, because we also get back our Simulacrum if we do that. But, yeah. So, let's scry once. Not a sweeper. It could help us find a sweeper. 4, 5, 6, 7. But it costs enough that I wouldn't be able to play Farewell. I would be able to play Day of Judgment. But I think we probably still just bottom it. Then we're going to scry again. I should have played the search. Do we draw a sweeper here? Come on. We've put how many cards on the bottom of our library? A lot. Okay. Damn. Yeah, they got us. We tried so hard to find one of our 2 sweepers, and we couldn't find either of them. I wonder if, like, mathematically, was Supreme Will a better option to put on top, because it gives us we would have been able to cast Farewell off of it. Not Farewell, but Day of Judgment. I don't know. This was our last game with this deck, one way or another. It's not a great hand. I mean, it's not a disaster. If they're really aggressive, it might be a disaster. But if they're like a normal deck, it's probably okay. Uh-oh. They're pretty aggressive. They didn't play a 1-drop, so we have that going for us. All right, we get to play something now. Something that will filter cards for us a bit. I mean, if they spend a turn blowing up, search for Azcanta here, which is pretty unlikely in red-black, I wouldn't be too upset about it. I think if the top card of our library... I don't know. Don't play anything. I would love if they didn't play anything here. Because then I get to untap, start countering things they play, and only taking like 2 a turn. While I try to find things. Okay, so we do need a Plains. I think we leave it on top. We don't need it right now, but we're going to draw white cards. So, you know, we do need a Plains. So we will pass. I think we have a good shot at stabilizing thanks to our counter magic. We can even counter something here, then play Gale, who can actually just block the adversary and then get back a counter spell. But we'll see. It may make more sense for us to just hold up the counter magic forever. It depends. What are they? I guess they're probably a sacrifice deck of some kind. Okay. Well, that is bad. Because I can only counter one of them. So, yeah. But we will do it. They get a copy still. Yeah, of course they do, right? Yeah. I'm leaning towards discarding Thragtusk here. Karn doesn't seem like what we're looking for, sadly, for Karn. All right, another white source isn't bad. Do I play Gale here? Grab our Supreme Will, or just leave up Neutralize? Seems like leaving up Neutralize is pretty good. The big problem is this freaking token, though. But eventually, I mean, the Gale can pressure it a little bit, but it's not like Gale's going to solve the problem either, you know? So I think we just pass, leave up Neutralize. Let them do their thing. I'm going to lose 2 life here. All right, yeah, so neutralize Magda. Search for Azcanta. I mean, it does mean we can play our Gearhulk next turn, which allows us to add to the board and counter a spell. Which is pretty good. But I can also just play Gale this turn and get back Neutralize. But I guess both are appealing. Yeah. We'll just draw it. Draw it, play Gale. Get back Neutralize. Do I discard an island? I don't think so. I think we probably just take 2 again. But yeah, they are a sacrifice deck, and Ob Nixilis is a nasty enabler. We go to 10. They have 5 mana and a Glory Bringer. That is bad. See you later, Gale.
We are at 6. We throw this forest away. You have a Restoration Angel. Torrential Gearhulk plus Restoration Angel. Pretty spicy, but we are in kind of a bad place here. So we're going to pass the turn. I think we're going to end up 6-3 with this, which is good. 7 wins would have been nice. So I think we discard Neutralize, as crazy as that might sound, because we can just cast it with Gearhulk, and then next turn we can Restoration Angel to get it back. So yeah, we can just cast our Gearhulk here, counter a spell, and that's exactly what we do. We still have the problem of Glorybringer, and we're at 6, which is certainly a problem. Guess we go with Supreme Will here. Yeah, we'll do Supreme Will. How many cards are in our graveyard? 5. Ooh, okay. Okay. We don't have any spells in our graveyard that are, like, useful to cast right now. But gaining 3 life and playing a creature seems pretty good. And then we still have Restoration Angel up, so yeah. So we definitely attack this down to 1. Play Charming Prince to go up to 6. So the bad news about this that I just realized is our opponent can use that discard effect and make us discard our Angel. Ugh, that sucks. That really sucks. Freaking Obnixilis. Okay. Yeah. Well, let's see what they do. That is what they do. Sort of to be expected, I think, unfortunately. Yeah, makes me wish I'd left Supreme Will in, because then I could cast this, but if I lose 2 life here, I just lose the game, so yeah, we just have to discard the Angel. Ouch. Can they kill us here? Seems likely. Go to 2. Good game. Yep, they got us. All right. Well, we went 6-3 with this. It's fun that we drafted like the most aggressive deck in the format and then one of the dirtier decks in the format as our 2 drafts of the cube today. So that's fun.